Not surprisingly, everyone had an opinion about Donald Trump's appearance at the NABJ, and it's pretty critical, even amongst many Republicans. So stay tuned for that. Some are like trying to finesse it, but they largely agree that this was a bad idea. Not Trump, though. He thinks he killed it. Well, not killed it. He says the questions were capital R rude and capital N nasty, often in the form of a statement, but we crushed it. Again, why would it matter if it was a statement or a question? He really thinks that this distinction is important. And by the way, if you didn't know who had asked him those questions, if it was a man or a woman, all you'd need to do is read that Truth Social post, because the questions were nasty, which means that it was a woman.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
He thinks that he killed it. Again, he's not alone. So he has gathered around him his black conservative surrogates to all say that it was great. Leo Terrell said Trump got his message out and the Democrats are angry. Great job, Mr. President. Yeah, it was an amazing job. I think he should do it every day, personally. I could not agree more with Leo Terrell. Fantastic job, Trump. Please keep doing these interviews and reminding everyone of why they wanted to get away from you being president. Amber Rose says President Trump is absolutely crushing this interview with NABJ. Maybe she believes that. Maybe Leo Terrell and maybe Amber Rose actually believe that. I don't know. I will say I am glad that Amber Rose is still on social media. There was always the chance that the racist backlash from Republicans to her appearance at the RNC could have driven her away from social media. Thankfully, in this case, the sheer vitriol and racism that she faced simply for existing in this world did not drive her off of social media. Finally, Byron Donald says today President Trump entered a hostile environment, highlighted his historic accomplishments, and spoke directly to the issues that matter. Like, whether Kamala Harris gets to be black. That's the issue that matters. Thank you, Byron Donalds. By the way, fact check though, he didn't enter a hostile environment. He entered an environment and, as always is the case, made it hostile and highlighted his historic accomplishments. I mean, he said repeatedly, "I've done more for black people than anyone. You should love me." Is that historic accomplishments? Is that highlighting? I don't know. If anything, I think it's low lighting, but I guess that is what he did. Now, one of the moderators on the stage thought he did a pretty good job. Harris Faulkner said that much of the audience was enjoying Trump's wild appearance at Black Journalism Convention. I have no doubt that there were black journalists there that like Donald Trump. I have no doubt there are black journalists there who are Republicans. There might even be some that are MAGA or whatever. And certainly there were people reacting. I do not think it is fair. I don't need to fact check this. I'm just pretty sure that the majority were not big fans of what he was saying, to be clear. And not even just for racial reasons. That's what we focused on earlier in the show. But bear in mind, he repeatedly attacked the media for existing. He repeatedly called them fake news. And I don't think there's a single journalist in that audience who isn't a part of the MAGA movement that doesn't deeply hate what he has done to tens of millions of Americans' ability to appreciate journalism as a field. But that said, he does have his defenders. I want to turn now to Kaitlan Collins talking to Senator Tom Cotton on CNN and getting his evaluation of how it went.
Donald Trump is standing by his comments tonight. In your view, are those comments defensible, Senator?
Kaitlan, of course. First off, it's refreshing to see a presidential candidate who's willing to go in front of the media, something that Donald Trump knew would be a tough interview. It turned out to be a hostile adversarial interview. The issue isn't what race Kamala Harris identifies as. It's the fact that she identifies as a San Francisco liberal.
But when your party's nominee is on stage telling a panel of 3 black women that the first black woman to serve as vice president hasn't always identified as black, how does that help your party win elections?
Well, Donald Trump said that what matters is that she identifies as a dangerous San Francisco liberal. It's not what race she identifies as, but what she identifies
on race
politically.
in that comment,
What's going to make
Senator?
a difference? Kaitlan, the interview was more than 30 minutes long, which is 30 minutes longer than Kamala Harris has had an interview with anyone since she became the presidential nominee.
First of all, she's not even the presidential nominee. She became the presumptive nominee like 4 days ago. Okay, pump the brakes, Tom Cotton. But anyway, I love that as a strategy. That is another demonstration of the sort of thing that makes most people absolutely hate politicians. So she says, he questioned her race. How does that help? And he says, well, what he said is she identifies as something that doesn't make us look as bad if I focus on it. Yeah, but he didn't say that. That's not what Trump said literally at all. What are you talking about? Did you see the interview? Kaitlan Collins apparently saw the interview. Did you watch it before you commented on it? That's not what he focused on at all. He repeatedly focused on a race. Tom Cotton said, that's not the important part. Don't tell Kaitlan Collins that, Tom Cotton. Tell Donald Trump, because he seems to disagree with you. Maybe talk a little bit, huddle with your boy or whatever. And so he didn't defend what Trump actually said, because what Trump said is indefensible. He evaded. That's what he did. That's the best case scenario for them at this point, is to, when they're on CNN, when they're on MSNBC, pretend that it didn't happen. And then when they're on Fox, double down on it. And that's what they're going to do. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.